the back. The Grand Prix of Indonesia 2022 Moto3 is go. Tatai, likewise his teammate Artigas. Garcia got a lightning start as well from the third row.
He's dropped back, he looks in around 7th or 8th position as we come through the first sector. In fact, he's down in 9th position. The pole just on the outside, he's been eased out of it. Mino has come through 2 inches as well to second place. The front row stuff, Tova though, he's made good progress. He's already up 6.
Yeah, he's pretty tall and heavy, Murray.
The inside of Garcia, you're not going to see overtakes there, but into here, you're certainly going to see it. And here comes Tata at the inside of Guevara.
5th place. So then lap 1 here in Indonesia chalked off. It's Andre Mino, Qatar won. Tatai trying to find the way through back on Garcia in turn 11. No way through. And now under pressure from a shorter straight here though in Indonesia, but the same effect. Foggia just blasts on, picked off 3rd place from Garcia in a super fast, lightning quick second sector. And Foggia.
The MTA riders will keep an eye on that in the back. In fact, it might have been Ivan Ortola who went down ahead of him in the field. So whatever problems hit Moreira early on, they still seem to be bugging the Brazilian.
Second lap, and he now leads. Ortola then has gone down. Likewise, Sura. So already a couple of...
Of course, he took pole position, but didn't get to start from there as Foggia up the inside of Tatai, able to leave it.
Honda, it's sort of easy pickings as he gets the drive up to sort of 4th, 5th and 6th gear. 140.
15th position on the grid, he felt he had much better pace than his grid spot suggests, but we've got 9 riders who would...
7th to 2nd in that first corner. That sets him up for this early podium charge. One line in parts of this Mandalika circuit, and if you stray offline, it's still... They've done a great job cleaning this track.
Expects to be amongst the championship contenders. Of course, 2 of them showed their performance 2 weeks ago. Loses it, he got well and truly out of control going to corner. He goes way out wide, and he's going to be picked off by Mino then, who didn't see anyone come up the inside of him on the main straight 2 weeks ago. He's going to see Dennis
punishing as well for these lightweight Moto3 bikes, so you've got to make sure you keep some tyre load.
These softer front and rear options as Tata is now looking to get involved. Mino's getting a little bit beaten. Deal will now see that there's an opportunity, but the top 3 all on the soft options, and it looks like Foggia's shaping up to go for the 2 into turn 1. He's back up to 5th.
Yeah, fastest man on the circuit now is Foggia, a 1:46. What scenario? He's happy when he's got clear track to run his lines, run his braking markers. Quick check.
Tyre, so he'll be hoping to keep that nicely in check towards the end of the race. And another one who's really gone for...
He might be on the outside line here, but he swings around the outside on Guevara. Sort of Amamasia's found his groove. He's starting to pick up his rhythm as well on the number 5 machine. There he is, just coming really fast, super fast second sector. Fastest lap then, 1:41.97 from the Spaniard.
Foggia's looking
really scrappy, really messy between this bunch. The second group involving Tata foot out there, wasn't it, from Sasaki? Maybe he feels like it's getting a little bit too chaotic in there. Is that Jamamasi's front brake?
The brakes on Dennis Foggia, who will hopefully, from his point of view, pull out again on the exit of the corner where he's getting 2 Tech 3 KTMs and the 2 Red Bull KTM IO bikes running wide. Mino way out wide. The first sector of this lap, as you can see on your screens, faster than the riders behind him on that last lap. He crossed the line that is to overtake here.
Yeah, now then, Foggia, you just wonder whether this is his ploy to the front. That was a really impressive save by Andre Mino. That could have really sayers. Foggia was really good at tyre conservation. He's running away with it right now, isn't he?
Group behind Mino, who's regrouped from that moment a lap or two, just over a lap ago. Masia was also in the 140s, but Denis Onchu, he was the second fastest rider that time around.
Yeah, there was the pushed out of the top 10 for the first time in this Grand Prix. Is the pace just that little bit too hot in these extra...
He's just outside the top 10, but he is just on the tail of this leading group. Personal best lap that time around.
To 2 turns 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Breathtaking stuff here, almost flat out on a...
Contact there coming out of turn 1 between 2 of those 4 Red Bull sponsored KTM, overtaken Diogo Moreira, having crashed and remounted, so Moreira's problems continue.
Podium battle, it's all going to be done again.
Yeah, Masia continuing to get his elbows out. He's battling it out with
a race of his own, as we thought he may well be. Nobody within half a second at the moment. As again, well, I suppose at least they're swapping the same paint, these 2 gas riders. Carlos Tata at turn 10 a few laps ago, and he's now been picked off by Dennis Onju. Not working out at all for the team.
No, into turn 12, and indeed he goes up the inside. There's a lot more than just 20 points up for grabs between these 2 Aspar riders. There it is at the bottom of your screen, the long lap penalty. They've resurfaced the first part of this lap.
He clipped the rear tyre there, didn't he, of Sergio Garcia. That was mighty close to a disaster. Started from the back, but he has finally decided to call it a day. That was super close.
Long lap.
3.5 seconds now, Dennis Foggia is clear. There's the graphic.
Sasaki now will be looking to have another little bit of a look at the winner of the
Honda to fire up the inside of Sergio Garcia. Nothing the Spaniard could do in response. So now
breezed past the gas down the main straight. Tatai, we haven't seen him yet come through together because the likes of Bartolini in 11th place, he is substantially faster than this group, and he has joined the back of this battle for second past the straight. Here we may see the battle between Mino and Garcia. Mino bailing.
Because on this current lap as well, he's dropped back behind Masia and Sasaki too.
Yeah, the Red Bull KTMs might feel they're sitting pretty here in this group. Denison Chu is among those riders along
that kind of contact just to have your front tyre washed out from underneath you. Mino got away with that one.
The rear tyre. Tyres aren't really a concern for Dennis Foggia. He's got 3.9 seconds worth of empty time up behind.
Take his first win of the season. Pedro Acosta's biggest rival in the World Championship last year, but
to pick them apart. Just as I was talking about how their tyre choice might help them later on. Adrian Fernandez into the pits. Massia
for the Japanese rider, but in these really mentally and physically taxing conditions.
Holgado lining up to take advantage as well. Massia, who's been battling with Sasaki, pretty much him didn't forget.
With 15.
Was Massia once again just barging Sasaki out of the way. Sasaki might lose a little one for that. He's up, the race is out. The way he's riding, he's really getting aggressive in this phase of the Grand Prix. Garcia once again.
Second less than a tenth of a second behind the pace of our race leader, Foggia. Impressive how Massia is a bit of a baby-faced assassin right now in this Grand Prix, isn't he? There's no prisoners.
They fan out behind Garcia, who's yo-yoing his way through the field. He now muscles Mino aside.
You can be a little bit dirty. You stray offline here in Begini Mandalika. You risk yourselves way through from 11th.
4.4 seconds of empty tarmac now for this. Fortunately for the home fans, they're not going to get the dream result they were hoping for Mario Aggi. He's now outside the...
Then dropped all the way back to 14th place after his long lap penalty for the shortcut at turn number right now.
Really difficult to fathom out Sergio Garcia's race. He's just said his personal best lap of the race. I mean, it looked like he was going...
Yeah, Aggi's lap times aren't that bad. Sort of mid to high 141s. It's just the pace around him.
Penalty, and as I mentioned, that part of the racetrack has not been resurfaced, and he's pretty low on grip. Adrian Fernandez as well for Diogo Moreira as Garcia. Here he comes back up the inside once again.
Garcia's been really good into turn 13. That's where he picked off Guevara. And Guevara says, OK, mate. Long gone into the distance, ladies and gentlemen, is our runaway race leader, Foggia. Forced his way back through. This is a good battle here involving Denison Chu as well, of course. Those two former Tech 3. Just gone over the halfway point. Tatsuki Suzuki gets a track limits warning now as well.
This group might soon find themselves falling back towards them as look at the slingshot that Garcia got once again.
He lunged up the inside of the number 28. We're looking back from Garcia. Batelli's also got a long
line for the next three corners because they very much follow from one into the next. But the two Aspar riders...
So much trust in that front end when you're at trail braking at high speed, lots of lean angle. About Danny Holgado being the latest big talent to roll off that endless stream of Spanish talent.
You'll keep an eye as they come through. The Nepa's dropping way down the timing screens. He's dropped down to 14th, top 6. Of course, all the talk of the rookies 2 weeks ago was the likes of Diogo Moreira and Ivan Ortola what hold the next sequence of corners, and it's really bunching up now behind the two Aspar riders as Garcia now goes up the inside.
Stamina and fatigue might be a factor for him.
You will see as this race, this time to pull the same move.
There was a mistake there on the brakes into turn 10 from Holgado. That led Onju straight back through.
Far, so good for him. 5 seconds adrift. He's now into the 140s for the first lap in quite a while. This
racing machine. It's a really intriguing battle for second place, though. It's currently being led by
Massia, with Denison Chu, as Matt mentioned, taking advantage of an error from this young man, Daniel Holgado.
At the end of the race as well. He was a real excellent 4th place in Qatar too.
Garcia gets rather wide. That's going to bring an opportunity for Guevara, who's under pressure himself. This second group of the two groups that we're watching have now closed right back in again.
He was on Garcia, but that little moment he had coming through 13, it just cost him the momentum. So this time around, he won.
Massi has fallen back now into 6th position, just ahead of his teammate, with Sasaki continues to hold the watching.
He was right to the edge of the circuit, almost hugging the white line. He'll have the inside line for the first corner, and he does. Bartolini and Co. Now Poman Tatai just creeping back into content in the battle for the final podium place as Mino up the inside of Garcia into turn. It's a strange start to Moto3 in 2020. We saw a runaway advantage for Ayumu Sasaki.
On board then with Mino, the World Championship leader, just behind the second placed Ivan.
Star in the Dorna Road to MotoGP program, and a star Turkish delight
in 5th position. In fact, it was Holgado who made the move, and Onchu reclaimed it.
It was a super Saturday for Super Mario when he qualified in the front row. He's just
really forced wide by Mino.
Yeah, picked him up there big time, did he, Andrea Mino? He just got on
limits, warnings for Aggi, so I wonder again whether it was a shortcut at turn 9. And indeed,
gap left by Garcia on entry to turn 12, sweep straight on through.
They're going to let Mino get away if they're not careful. Mino of Guevara.
Yeah, Mino just using his experience there, just releasing the...
He's able to defend any potential approach from behind from the Aspar riders. They close back in the...
Farah getting busy, attacking hard on the front end of that gas machine to first corner. Alberto Sura, he was very in to make this battle for the final 2 places on the podium. A bit of a 2-horse showdown. It's now down...
3rd long lap penalty of the race because he didn't comply with his first one.
Yeah, and if he doesn't come in soon for that...
Keep an eye on Carlos Tatai now. He's at the back of this group. Second bike from the back of this group. Of course, the pole championship leader Garcia once again coming on strong once again, having dropped back earlier on. He now picks off the young...
So he got in that little bit hot, and at the very next corner, just losing that bit of drive out of 12. It's Moto3 Grand Prix of Indonesia. Dennis Foggia is your runaway race leader with 4 laps to go. Guevara...
Gas Aspar machine of Sergio Garcia. He'll get a good slingshot if he can keep this.
Safely through. Anjou, not so. That was really, really tight.
And Migno's going to get through again. The 2 Aspar riders just up ahead. Guevara seems to be far enough ahead of Garcia. Said through the weekend this was going to be a race of survival, and that's how it's proving. I think that's the mode that all these riders are in there.
The back of Holgado there was well on the brakes in the turn 10, desperately trying to recover those losses.
Hang around the outside, which is giving the inside for the final corner, and to his credit, he's done that pretty.
Migno trying to make it back-to-back podiums for the first time in his Grand Prix career. That's going to be a tough task. Rides in this Moto3 pack, he can make himself quite big and wide, can't he? Get those elbows out, still in that...
Aggressive as they come in this class. Dennis Foggia, though, he'll have no idea about the
fire here as the tyre wear starts to play a crucial factor towards the end of this Grand Prix. On board with...
Yeah, Massia's good on the brakes, though, as Anjou looks to get on the inside. Massia does hold that. Anjou has to slot in behind.
Yeah, there's
Garcia in that as well. Look at the contact as Migno. That's not where you want to be on the outside. And Dennis on up a few places. He's now up into 5th position. That podium is just within reach now as Anjou looks to try and reclaim.
Through this second group, it's starting to look really menacing indeed. You see, he picked up 2 or 3 blocks. He knows you can't make a mistake on the brakes in that first corner. He just cracked a little bit small.
Once again, gets he's that wide, he's going to drop places for that.
He was sliding both tyres on corner entry, big.
Between Batia, should I say, and Guevara, just given Ivan Guevara that sort of space he needs. He's now got 6-10.
Going through into turn 12. That was all because of the drive that Massia lost coming out of 10.
And Migno's anyone's guess.
Stunning. Contact there. There was clear contact. Massia, he's
losing the World Championship lead at this very early stage in the season. Tatai then, who's got second place.
Dropped all the way back to 14th place, but he's in that podium position now in 3rd.
Looks like it's
trying to keep the hard-charging Massia at bay. That mistake and that contact out there has been so superior. A class of his own. It looks like as well. Ethan Guevara, he got in way hot, tried to ride defensive. Migno on Sasaki. Migno on Sasaki, turn 10. Oh, here he comes back. On the inside line on Sergio Garcia. That CF Moto motorcycle twitching side. Looks like he's going to win the battle for 3rd. He does. Great job by the poleman, Ethan.